In a distant future, Major Alexander Ross and his crew embarked on an unprecedented mission to secure humanity's future. Over 5 centuries had passed since their departure from Earth, with the fate of the planet and its people hanging in the balance. Led by Major Ross, a seasoned leader, the crew of the starship Odyssey journeyed across the vast expanse of space, encountering a myriad of challenges along the way. Their odyssey was fraught with perilous encounters, from deadly cosmic storms to hostile alien species. Despite facing overwhelming odds, Major Ross and his crew fought valiantly for survival, their unwavering determination driving them forward through the darkest of times. They became a beacon of hope in the void, carrying the dreams of humanity on their shoulders. Tragically, as the years stretched on, the crew dwindled until Major Ross found himself alone, the sole survivor of their epic quest. With a heavy heart, he made the decision to return to Earth, hoping against hope that some semblance of humanity had endured the ravages of time. However, what awaited him was a chilling sight. Earth had become a frozen wasteland, its once vibrant ecosystems reduced to icy desolation. Undeterred by the bleakness of his surroundings, Major Ross refused to abandon his mission. Setting his ship on autopilot, he entered a state of cryogenic sleep, preserving his life as he orbited the frozen world below. From his vantage point in space, he observed the shattered remnants of the moon, a stark reminder of the cataclysmic events that had befallen not just Earth, but the entire solar system. Despite the passage of centuries and the utter silence that greeted him, Major Ross clung to a flicker of hope. Memories of his loved ones, his wife, sons, and daughter, kept him company in the loneliness of space, their faces etched into his mind's eye. With unwavering resolve, he vowed to continue his search for any survivors, no matter how remote the chance. For as long as humanity endured, there remained hope for the future. Adrift in the vast expanse of the cosmos, Commander Gabriel Mitchell found himself grappling with an existential despair unlike any he had ever known. Surrounded by the chilling silence and haunting emptiness of space, the weight of humanity's disappearance bore down on him with crushing force. The realization that mankind was gone, lost forever to the relentless passage of time and the unforgiving expanse of the universe, threatened to engulf him in an abyss of darkness. Yet, even in the face of such overwhelming grief and hopelessness, Mitchell refused to surrender. Deep within his soul burned a stubborn ember of determination, a defiant refusal to accept defeat. It was a small flicker of light in the vast darkness, but it was enough to fuel his resolve. One somber morning, as Mitchell orbited near the moon, casting a contemplative gaze upon the desolate Earth below, an idea began to form in his mind. He pondered the possibility of charting a new course, seeking out distant galaxies rumored to offer potential havens for humanity. With nothing left to lose but his own life, he set his sights on a distant star system, driven by a desperate hope for a second chance. As Mitchell prepared to engage his ship's warp engine, his attention was suddenly drawn to the presence of 4 unidentified vessels orbiting Earth. Intrigued and cautious, he halted his preparations and trailed the mysterious ships as they descended towards the planet's surface. With a mixture of apprehension and determination, Mitchell followed one of the vessels, landing nearby in anticipation of what awaited him. Armed and vigilant, he approached the enigmatic craft, his senses on high alert, ready to confront whatever mysteries lay within. With his weapon drawn, Captain Daniel Reynolds cautiously approached the door of the mysterious ship. Slowly, he stepped aboard, his senses on high alert as he began to search the empty vessel. Making his way to the bridge, Reynolds found himself confronted with an unsettling sight. An empty seat surrounded by unfamiliar technology devoid of any recognizable controls. As he prepared to depart the bridge, the hatch suddenly closed, trapping Reynolds inside as the ship's engine roared to life. Panic gripped him as the ship ascended into orbit, joining the other 3 vessels in a synchronized dance through the cosmos. Despite his attempts to regain control, Reynolds found himself at the mercy of his enigmatic captors. Days turned into weeks, and Reynolds grew weary and disoriented, his mind clouded by fear and uncertainty. Seeking solace, he stumbled upon a peculiar living quarters within the ship, yet even in its embrace, he found no rest. Time seemed to blur as he slipped into fitful slumber, only to awaken once more in Earth's orbit, trapped in an endless cycle of captivity. With each passing moment, Reynolds grappled with existential questions, his mind plagued by doubt and confusion. Was he a prisoner of alien beings, or had he become an unwitting pawn in a cosmic game beyond his comprehension? Despite his attempts to communicate with the ship, his pleas for answers fell on deaf ears, leaving him to confront his fate alone. In moments of despair, Reynolds found himself longing for home, yearning to be reunited with his loved ones and the familiar embrace of humanity. Yet, as the endless expanse of space stretched out before him, he began to question whether he would ever find his way back to the world he once knew. Then, one fateful day, the ship came to a halt, and a voice echoed through the silence, addressing him by name. "Captain Daniel Reynolds, you are home," it proclaimed. With a mixture of disbelief and hope, Reynolds stepped out onto the alien landscape, greeted by the sight of countless faces, each one bearing a resemblance to his own. Among them, a young man approached, introducing himself as his descendant, Jaden Reynolds, followed by a little girl named Ava. Overwhelmed with emotion, Reynolds embraced his newfound family, his heart swelling with gratitude and wonder. As Ava offered to read to him, just as his own daughter once had, Reynolds felt a tear roll down his cheek. In that moment, he realized that although he may have been the last man on Earth, he was never truly alone. And so, with his family by his side, Reynolds embarked on a new chapter, the final chapter, in the story of the last man on Earth.